TP window here, and you'll see that I have this object-to-particle operator, and like its name suggests, it takes objects and turns them into particles. So I'm going to go ahead and select my sphere, and you'll notice it pops up in this list box here, and I'm going to pipe that into the sphere group, which relates over to here, which is the group master hierarchy of the TP system. In addition to that, I'm also going to enable instance shape, so when I go ahead and play here, you'll notice that there's this red overlay here, so if I go ahead and select my sphere and hide it, I now have this red doppelganger sphere of my max object. So like that, you see that pops up as thinking one, so that's my thinking
Get some
particle
coffee.
system. So that's one facet of
Not
TP's.
going to be a long one either. It only takes a few minutes to explain these things. But like I said in a previous video lesson, what we're going to do is start breaking down each of these palettes into their own little videos so that you can go back at any time and take a look at the video and get an understanding of what is taking place inside that particular palette. What's its primary functionality? Well, as far as the document palette's concern is, well, it's managing your file basically, or your document, or your scene, whatever, however you want to look at it.
So where you want to save everything out to.
Exactly, or open a file back up. What I want to do first is go ahead and come in here, and I'm going to change this from compact mode over into expert mode just so we can see everything that's involved with the document palette. Now, right off the bat, let's go ahead and get some of the basic stuff out of the way. Of course, we can come in here and we can open up, okay, a ZBrush file, .zbr file. We can save or save as. Now, right now, you'll notice that the save button is grayed out. Okay, we can do the save as, of course. The reason is, let's go ahead and come in here and put something down. And as soon as I've got something down in my document, now the save button has become active. Be careful with this, though. Unlike other programs, if you come up here and hit the save button, check it out. We just had our little process bar go across. We did not get a dialog asking us what we'd like to save the file as. The reason is, if I come in here and click Save As, you'll see that our file was saved out as zbrushdocument.zbr. Okay? We didn't get an opportunity to actually supply this thing with a name. So it's really important that, if you're creating something and you want to give it a very specific name, that you come up here and you click the Save As button, in which you'll actually get a dialog box to type in the name that you want to save your document as.
Okay.
So that's a big difference between save and save as. Okay? Now, let's go ahead and come in here and say open, and let's go ahead and come up a level and open up our ZBrush document real quick. So that is this file right here. So now we've got it open. If I come in here and I start making some changes to that file now, of course I could save and it would save these changes, but I could come in here and I could revert, and by clicking the revert document button, what it's going to do is it's going to say the document's been changed. Would you like to revert and ignore all of these changes? And I can cancel, or I can tell it OK, which I will. And now my document has reset itself back to the way it was when I first opened it up. Okay, so this is really cool if you want to go in there and make some experimental changes. Let me grab another color and maybe a smaller brush and come in here and start, adding some additional paint for whatever reason. And I go, thinking about that, that's just not cool at all. Let's go ahead and revert it. Boom, and this is how the file was when we opened it up. So it's really handy for doing tests, etc. Next we have import and export. If you have, let's just go ahead and come over here and click on import. If you have a Photoshop file, a PSD, or an RLA, or a bitmap file, we can come in here and simply select and import them in. And you can also see that we can break the three apart right there. So the 2D files is just looking for any of the three at once. And then if we've got, let's say, tons of each of these file types in a particular folder, we could break it down even further by coming down and selecting one of these types specifically. So anyways, it's just nice to know for all of you out there that like to use Photoshop that we can bring PSD files right into ZBrush. So let's go ahead and cancel that out. We also have the ability, of course, to export an image. So we've been working on our document back here, and we want to export it out. We can take it straight over into Photoshop or straight out as a bitmap file type. So that's definitely handy.
Always a handy thing.
Yep. So let's go ahead and cancel out of that. Now, new document. This is something else that you'll probably use a great deal. You've been working on an image. Now you want to start something new that you're going to use for, let's say, just a few minutes for creating a texture or for whatever. After saving the file, I could simply come in here and say new document, clears it out. I can then come in, make some adjustments. Let's say I want to come in here and I got an idea. I'm going to model this groovy new thing. Oh, that's looking great. Oh, that's so sophisticated. There's my incredibly new model. Okay.
Only $9.99.
Exactly. So now what I want to do is go ahead and come in here, and I could say new document, or excuse me, not new document. We just did that. I can just go ahead and come back over here and open up. And no, I don't want to save this. Let's open up our ZBrush document again, so there it is. And that cool little model that I just made still exists, da-da-da, as an actual tool. So if I wanted to use that, a new document for quickly creating a texture that I want to then bring back into my file, I could have simply saved the scene that I was working on, click New Document, generated my texture, grabbed my texture and added it over here to the texture palette, which that's something we get into later. I just did a real quick example with actually making a 3D object, which you saw got stored up here in my Tools palette. Then I can simply come back in, open up the file that I was working on, and then apply it and continue going. Okay?
Pretty nice.
All right, so now.
You know, you could probably get some money on eBay for that.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of like a tooth, huh?
Oh, yeah.
The cool thing is I do have the ability to come back in here. Actually, let's go over here and continue.
Oh, see, that already it's worth, $10.
There you go. That's our messed up tooth. So I can't come back in here and start doing this. But you know what? You figure since that Maya Sphere sold on eBay for, what, $20? A sophisticated digital tooth like this could probably bring, what, 40, 50?
Oh, at least.
At least. A red one at that. So
yeah.
that could make it a rare tooth. Anyways, all right, let's go ahead and get back to being serious. So I'll come back over here, switch out of edit mode. All right, so that's just showing you how we can open and save documents, import and export out a couple of different format types, create a new document at any time. Now let's go ahead and take a look at some other things. We've got back and border. This is one way that we can set our background color. Okay, all I need to do is come over here. If I want to set my background color to a color other than black, is simply select some sort of color with my color picker. So let's go with a light red, so about right there. And then simply come over here and click on back, and boom, now I have the color.
That's nice.
So if I need it white, I can simply drag up here to white, click on it again, and adjust white. Notice how I'm doing it, though. I'm setting my color first down here in my color palette, then I'm clicking on this guy. Now, guess what? There's another way that you can use any of these different color pickers that's really cool. You can place your mouse inside them, click with the mouse button, and then drag off. And as I drag my mouse off, you'll notice that my icon is now changed to a set of crosshairs, kind of like looking through a scope, and the word pick. And as I move my mouse around, whatever color is underneath it is the color that's going to be shown right here in this little box. So now it's going to come, let's come over here, let's say, there's that tealish color. Up here somewhere is going to give us the orange color, so there's the orange. Or I could even come down here and start going all over my entire spectrum of colors. And once I find the color I want, I'm just going to drag down over here over black. I'll let go.
That's pretty cool.
And that it sets that color. Okay, as for the border, same exact thing. I'm just going to click and drag out, and you'll notice that there's a border